Hello people! If you're wondering what this video is, this is a behind the scenes from episode 2 of the amazing shit circus series. I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of the behind the scenes, as you can see. Okay, this is for something else, but if you're wondering what this whole video is and how, when is this? Well, this is before episode 2, alright? Oh, wait, this is before episode 2. So as you're watching this, I'm still editing episode 2 as we speak. This is past Noah. Future Noah is somewhere else. I don't know where. But this video is going to come out right after episode 2. I'm here to just be showing you a few of the size comparisons between the trucks. A few characters that only showed up for a glimpse. And now you're going to get to see the full look at them. And it's going to be really awesome and everything. And you're just going to get to see a lot more details in the show than what you really thought there was, alright? So we're going to be looking at vehicles to everything else. We're not going to be looking at backgrounds because the backgrounds are not as important. But these things right here, I'm showing you some really important stuff. But here we have some of the vehicles, as we could see. We have both the battle trucks and a few other things that we'll get to soon. These are all things that you've seen in the episode, but now we're going to be getting a better glimpse at all these. As you can see, here's the truck in all of its glory. We have the little candy cane, not candy cane, the freaking candy corn spikes. We have that little cool light thing right there. We have the nice pink, we got the red lines, we got this little part right here. Yeah, this all took like months to build and hours to paint. And we also have the other side of the truck. Now, I knew this one was going to be way too big compared to the other one. So if I were to just keep them both connected, it would have been harder for it to move around. So it was a better choice for me to just completely separate it. It would move 10 times easier than this one, because this one's fully connected together, which made it really hard to film with. But this one, on the other hand, I knew was going to be a challenge. Here we can see inside of the truck. All right, here, let's get inside. Okay, I gotta turn the camera. As you can see, inside the truck is not really a lot. We don't have a lot. Here's the part where we don't usually see. Everything's painted. It's a bit of a messy paint job, especially on the inside of the truck, but that's only because, we weren't going to see all of it. It was just going to be right here. Yeah, like right to right here, like that and on camera. We had the little steering wheel right here that I had to paint. I didn't paint the back because I got lazy. This thing broke off during filming. Another thing that we should talk about breaking was literally all these pieces right here. This one's gonna come off soon. This one did come off and I had to glue it really hard. If you're wondering how the back of the seats look, they're absolutely blank because I didn't feel like painting those either. I didn't feel like painting something that we weren't going to see. Here we get to the side of the truck now. Now here's where we're gonna get to see a lot of detail. We have the little spikes right here. I painted this brown as well. Also this little yellow thing and this little green lollipop, as you can see. Here we have the back. Here we have the other side. This thing right here. This thing is so smooth. I put over up to 10 coats on this one piece right here. So that way it could look nice and smooth and wouldn't look all messed up. And still, we barely even saw it. What was the point of that? The back support right here. This thing kept breaking every time I shook around the truck. So that was a pain in the ass. We have those little bead, I don't know what they are. I think they're like pistachios or something. Or there's some sort of candy that they put on the side of the truck. I'll put a picture right up here. I had a lot of fun doing these little candy corns. They were really nice and cute. But during filming, a lot of the paint started to scratch off because when this one and this one kind of just went up head to head to each other, it kind of just broke off. And a few of these, I'm surprised none of these broke off, but they were messed around an awful lot. We also have the candy canes up here. These things right here, these pieces of shit broke off up to 5 times, I believe, during the episode. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the clay part or if it's just the glue. But this thing snapped off so much. And not only that, but the paint started to scratch off right here because whatever freaking brown paint I use, it scratches off really easy on crafting foam and really it just fucked it up. Here's the top of it. We have the little things right here and the little things. I didn't bother to paint them as much because I knew there was just going to be a tiny bit of pain in the ass, so of course I didn't paint them. Here we have this thing. Now this is a funny story. You see, this thing actually broke off. This thing broke during filming. This piece snapped off right here, so I had to quickly replace it with felt so that way it can just pop back in. As you can see, it's still messy. I don't plan on fixing it in the future because, well, the video is already out. We've already done all the work. I don't think this thing isn't gonna come back. Winky face. Here we have a better look at the back. I'll stretch out the camera so you can see. We have these little back supports. Like I said, they kept breaking. I made this just one solid color because I knew we weren't gonna see this as much, the back right here. So if we were to, it'd just be like this, and you know, it's fine, all right. But like the paint kind of mixed around with it when I was painting this. But other than that, it worked. As you could see, we also have where it snapped off. I don't like, since it kept moving up and down and up and down and up and down, the thing eventually snapped off, which kind of just was a big pain in the ass for me and really hurt. Now in real time, to film this thing, when you're dealing with a big and fragile thing like this, you have to turn around from angle to angle to make sure it's right. So all the shots that you see inside of here, I have to place the camera like this and shove the camera in there while wedging my hands in there to hold the camera. It was hard enough already, especially working with this tiny ass set. It was incredibly hard. The door is also open as well. It's a cool little feature that I knew I had to add. And if they were to open, I knew I had to add the back part as well. The only problem was that since I put these things so close, the freaking candy corn, this thing wouldn't open all the way, so it only opened halfway. The other side is fine, but this one, I didn't realize, so this one's a bit of a messed up thing. But other than that, here's the full look at the truck. But I'm not even done yet, because here we have is the middle part of the truck. This is the middle part of the truck. Now, fun fact about this whole tube thing right here that you see is just crafting foam. I'm being serious. This whole thing right here is just black crafting foam. I used literally all of it. I don't plan on recycling it so I can get the rest of it because it's already been covered in paint, but hopefully the episode makes back some money, because this whole roll right here is like up to like $100 or something like that. It was a lot. Here we have the side of it. Now this thing right here took up so much paint that I had to go back to the store and buy up to 3 more bottles to finish coating this. And I didn't even coat it that well either. But here's the thing, I don't care anymore. You barely see this in the episode. I feel like this was a little not worth it to build because this took like a shit ton of time. And I feel like it wasn't really worth it because we didn't see it as much in the episode, but what can I say? Kind of a waste of money. That's all I can say. But here's truck number 1. Now let's get to the second one. Now after I made the first one, I felt like a happy freaking boy on Christmas Eve to know that I finished it. But my work was still not, I had my work cut out for me because I still had a second truck. And if you're wondering what happened, damage! Okay, but yes, the truck has gone through a little bit of damage, as you can see. I didn't want to use any more. So for the first truck, I used like foam, black craft foam. So I didn't want to use any more of it, so I went the cheaper route, and it worked, but at what cost? This thing broke twice, and I'm not fixing it because, well, we've already filmed the episode with it. Here's the front of the truck. Now this one has the most detail, as you can see. Oh shoot. This one has a lot of detail to it. It has those little spikes. I wasn't gonna make any more. I only made 3 because I got lazy. We had the little thing right here that shifted, the little gear or whatever. We also had the wheel that actually moves and also broke as well during filming. And it was a lot of work. Here we have the inside of the truck. Yet again, it's very boring. I didn't want to do too much. Another foam thing right there. I didn't want to do too much on the inside because that was a lot of work already. So yeah. And here we have the side of the truck. Now, as you can see, yes, if you're wondering, it is a bit of a messy paint job. That's because I was running out of time, and you know, I had to get this episode as fast as I could. I already missed the original date, so you know I had to like freaking hurry up as fast as I can. Here we have the very not good supporting wheels. We have all the little details, you know. We have these little candy canes right here. These are crafting foam because I got worried I was gonna run out of the air dry clay when making it, because I already had to make this one that already snapped off right here. So I had to use this, and it worked, but the paint job is really messy. It doesn't look as bad on camera, but as you can see, it's really scratchy right here, and doesn't really work as well. Just like the other doors, these doors do open. Semi-open, I guess. I mean, they've already been through a lot, and to actually jam the door back through, you kind of gotta do that. You kind of gotta punch it. We have the top of the truck. Now, as you can see, we have these, yet again, same issue. I did not want to paint them again. I did not want to paint them multiple times, so I only added one coat to it. It looks shitty, I know, but I didn't want to do it again. We have these little details right here, and we also have this thing, the cookie roof. Now, let's talk about this thing. This is also black foam as well. I used a lot of that during this episode, but this thing also opens. The hole that I made looked really bad, and just, it didn't work. Not only that, but it kind of got some of this paint on there. But yeah, it was a bit of a problem. With the cookie door thing, it was really hard to, like, it didn't cooperate. I really like how smooth this is. Like, whatever red paint I used was really nice and smooth. Oh yeah, and before I forget, here we have the little faucet thing. This thing actually broke off during filming, so I had to glue it back on before like I continued, so this was a pain in the ass. Here we have the second and my least favorite vehicle, the Wagon. Now, if you're wondering why it's my least favorite, it's these goddamn flippy flappy fucking wheels. I shit you not. Broke up to 10 times during filming. When I was doing the whole weight check with all the plushies, I'd made sure that it could hold and support everyone. That's why I took the picture of, like, you know, that one post that I made of the elephant being an iPad kid. But I was doing that actually to make sure that the weight was good enough. This was good at the start. But as soon as the filming day came around, this thing snapped off alongside of this one right here. So I had to glue it back on. It didn't work the second time, so I had to glue it back on again. That's why there's so much glue right here. This stuff broke. And then after the 6th time I finally fixed this part, this part started to break. I glued that, fixed it again. Glued that, fixed that again. And now today, this is the 10th time this part is broke. I wouldn't even be surprised if the other side broke as well. Huh, okay. Actually, you know what? It hold up pretty well. It's one of my least favorites to work with. Yes, it is one of my least favorites to actually work with. 2 honorable mentions for this. We actually have the gear thing and the stairs. Okay. So, let's just talk about this. I mean, Princess Lollyloo, she was stepping right up here, you know, she was doing her thing. And that's where you saw. Now, if you're wondering if there's stairs, no. We weren't going to see stairs. There was no damn point why I needed to build stairs. This piece is kind of just a separate piece from the kingdom. It's kind of just there for the shot, you know, and looks really nice. Like, watch. That's really nice. But yeah, that's an honorable mention. This is where the gear would have gone, where you would have shifted it. I don't know where the stick went. When I was cleaning up, I know where it is, but I'm not going to get it. But I know where it is, but the stick would go right here. It actually worked because there's a little system in there, and this thing is actually starting to break. I'm being serious. Everything is starting to break. I might actually just break this right now because this thing, I mean, it is just one solid color that says Rocky Road, so it's not really that exciting, but honorable mention, I guess. Now on to the characters. We'll go from this side to this side and talking about each and every different character. Here we have the Laughing Crazy Jax plush. Now, this was an interesting little thing. I made this at the end of the night, so of course there's going to be a few parts of it that are very messy, such as the legs. That was at late at night when I was making all these things, so of course the legs are going to look a little shitty and some of the body proportions, but if you're wondering why I made this guy out of all the characters I made, it was for a gag. So Jax is like laughing maliciously and he's like, and if you're wondering why he doesn't have any pupils, those were added because I had to animate them in that one scene where Jax is looking at them, where he's like, ah ha ha. His neck is really flimsy and he will be used for something else better. He will be reused. Like, this is one guy that will be recycled for something. Yeah, he will be used for something else. I will use him for something better, but we cannot talk about this yet. Here he is. Oh, I think his pocket also works as well. At least I actually had enough time to do that. All right, let's get out of here. I think we've already seen this guy enough. Second character is Long Pomni. Now, as you can see, oh, yeah, that was one of the faces that kind of stuck to her hands. Now, I knew I couldn't have just like made a regular Pomni. I couldn't have just like added. So here's my original plan for a long Pomni. I was originally gonna make long arms and then attach them to the first Pomni plush, but I wasn't. But then I was like, nah, that was stupid. So I just decided to make my very own stretched Pomni. Here she is in all of her glory. She's really soft. I'm being serious. I made this one late at night too, but I knew I had to make this one as best as I could. I hand sewed the hat. It's really nice, see the little balls. And she also got the balls right here. Her little legs. This is just cardboard, if you were wondering. I use cardboard for a lot of the feet for support, because it really works when they're standing up. Or yeah, like that. That kind of works. Here are her long arms. I had to make sure they were both the same size. I was a little cautious on how this was going to work when I was filming the scenes, but it actually worked out really fine, and I'm actually glad it worked out okay. I got scared it was going to fail or something bad was going to happen, and luckily nothing bad happened. She didn't get ripped, and luckily she wasn't too long. She wasn't too big for the scene, so luckily she worked out just fine. This head and body will be recycled for something better, but as for these legs, I will plan on reusing these feet. But everything else, these legs and these arms, they will be reused for something better. But let's get to the Gummy elephant. As you can see, this was the first guy I made. This was the first one I made. He has cardboard in his feet. We don't really see him that much, so he's not really that much of an important character. He was fun to make. His mouth can actually open. I actually designed it so his mouth can open if it wanted to. From the side it looks normal, but from the front, oh god. He's pretty cool, I guess. I wouldn't say he's the best character I made, but yeah, he was the first, you know, he was alright. Okay, here we have Gummy Goo. We have Max and Chad. Alright, I think we've already reviewed Gummy Goo before in a whole video, so we don't need to review him. But who we can review is Max and Chad. So Chad was a bit of a tricky thing. I was gonna do one of two things. Either I make Chad look extremely good and not like this, or I had to capture exactly how he looked like Gummy Goo. So it would have looked weird if I made him in a different style than Gummy Goo, so I had to follow the exact same style as this Gummy Goo. You know, so that's why you see a lot of the felt little spikes right here, the felt teeth, the felt mouth. Yeah, I actually captured most of the details that this bootleg one had. So I had to follow all the steps that this one had, mainly because I didn't want them to look like unalike. I wanted them to look almost exactly the same, like almost like they are bootlegs, but this one's handmade. His stomach and his body are like two separate fabrics. One of them had to be smooth, while the other had to be nice and fluffy and soft. Yeah, there's Chad. He's got his little spikes. He's got his little cowboy hat. This was fun to make. I didn't sew this one, though. I glued it. And here you have Max. Each and every single one of them is two separate colors. That was a hard little thing I needed to do. I don't know if we could see it right here. So I had to make sure that they were two separate colors. That was a really hard mission to do, but it was semi-easy, I guess. I had to hand sew these together. Here's his little back ones. I think this piece is starting to break, but that's fine. We have the orange. He's got his little bandana. Same felt mouth. Oh, they even have the tongues. And if you're wondering why I gave them tongues, it's because Gummy Goo also has a tongue, which is kind of weird because he doesn't have a tongue in the show. Not that I know of. Here we have his little hat. I had to add the spikes and everything too. That's just crafting foam. We have his cute little teeth and mouth and face. Look at his derpy little face. And their mouths can do this cool little feature too. Gummy Goo can do that too, but not as easy. It's really hard to do it because his muzzle's not as long. So of course he's gonna be having a hard time chewing. But yeah, I think the last time I'm gonna buy a bootleg character from the Amazing Digital Circus is probably Orbsman. All the other characters will be made out of fabric, such as like Martha. Is that her name? Martha, the little baby ghost thing. That probably like that tape recorder, and a few other characters that I can't talk about yet, except for a guy named Father Sage. But we can't talk about him yet. He's not really a character. I mean, I guess he's Kane, but he's kind of just the mouthpiece. Okay, here we have the Kane mouth. Now, this is for Pomni's nightmare sequence. we were only going to see it one time, wink, wink. But yeah, that's about it. Here we have the Fudge Monster. And let's just say this mother fricker right here is so big. He was originally going to be bought in as a bootleg, but the bootleg was incredibly small and looked like shit. So I decided to make him my own. And he honestly looks beautiful. Look at him. Here's him working and everything. Nice jaw. Nom, 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 nom. Now, another piece was his arm. Now, I was going to make a bit of a dirty joke with the Fudge Monster, but then I realized how much people really didn't like the dirty jokes as much. I think you know where I was going to go with this joke right here. But I didn't do it because people were like, no, don't make dirty jokes anymore. The series is like, you know, it's kind of cringe. And I was like, okay, fuck you, I guess. I mean, I couldn't tell them to stop being a fucking baby and grow up. But at the same time, gotta give the people what they want. But listen, people, if you guys want the dirty jokes back, I'll do them. But in this case, I didn't do it this time. I was gonna do it as the tongue, which looks really good. But then I just decided, like, nah, no tongue. It was just gonna be his arm. No dick. No dick. We would add no dick. I wanted it to be the dick, but people were like, no more inappropriate jokes. And I was like, okay, fuck you. The last honorable mention I wanted to bring up was this painting right here. This beautiful painting inspired by Charmix the cat. As you can see, here is her lovely art. I had to actually paint this, but she was the one who drew the jacks, and then I kind of just sketched over it, and it looks really nice here. But here we have all the wacky, goofy little characters. As you can see, here we have them all. Trying to get that thumbnail picture. But this is it. This is just a little behind the scenes, just to let you know what's been happening and everything. All the little goofy characters and all the set pieces. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2, because episode 3 will be coming very soon, like probably at the end of this month, hopefully. Definitely not missing that fucking, missing the release date. Hopefully that won't happen anymore. That probably will be the problem for some episodes. Just to let you know, just a warning for a few episodes that might get delayed. Probably episode 4, a little bit of episode 5, and maybe even, maybe just episode 4 and 5, because they're approaching pretty fast. But as for the other episodes, besides that, will probably be okay. But for episodes that will possibly be delayed, it's probably episode 5 and, episode 5 and, episode 5 and 4. Those episodes might have a problem being released because, I go back to school around that time, so I will have a few problems when it comes to filming this shit, but I will try my best to pull through. I will be determined to finish this entire series because it is really fucking good, and I have a good story to say. I have a good story to tell, and everybody loves it too. And it's probably one of my best, my best series, so far. It's probably my best doing. What the fuck? What am I trying to say? These are probably my best in view series, because Ohio Tales doesn't get this many views, which is kind of upsetting. So does Mr. Chronix, but Mr. Chronix and Ohio Tales have been gone for quite some time, so we don't need to give a shit about them. But this series, I will be determined to finish, and I will keep working at it. People love it. I love doing it too. You guys are going to get really excited to see a few of the next cameos that are going to be happening very soon.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.